In today's world, we hear a lot about women's rights, empowerment, and equality. But what if I told you that over 1,400 years ago, Islam already gave women more rights, respect, and dignity than many societies today? It's a powerful truth, but it's often overlooked. Back in the time when girls were buried alive and women were considered inferior, Islam came and not only gave women their rights, but empowered them in ways that were revolutionary. When people thought of women as mere property, Islam came with a message that honored them. Islam declared that paradise lies beneath the feet of mothers. It gave women the right to inherit, to own property, to choose their spouse, to seek education, and so much more. Today, when we talk about women's empowerment, we often forget the foundation laid by Islam for women long before the modern feminist movements. But how many of us truly understand how Islam truly empowered women? Let's break it down together simply and clearly. When we talk about women in Islam, we're not just talking about a religion or a set of rules, we're talking about a system that gave women true freedom and dignity. First and foremost, Islam grants women the right to own property and inherit wealth, which was unheard of at the time. In many parts of the world, women couldn't inherit property or money, but in Islam, women have the right to inherit land, gold, and assets from their relatives. This right was granted over 1,400 years ago, long before women in the West were even allowed to own property. Take the example of Fatima, R.A., the beloved daughter of the Prophet Muhammad, PBUH. She was not only a respected and loving daughter, but also a woman of great strength. She inherited from her father, just like any son would. Her example shows that Islam never discriminated against women in matters of inheritance. In the past, many cultures treated daughters as a burden, and in some cases, daughters were even killed at birth. But Islam changed that. The Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, said, "Whoever has 3 daughters and is patient with them, they will be a shield for him from the fire of hell." This is the heart of Islam, honoring and protecting women in all stages of life, whether as daughters, mothers, or wives. The Qur'an itself says, "And when one of them is given the good tidings of a daughter, his face becomes darkened, and he is filled with grief." But the very next verse highlights the goodness of women. "But the one who is given a daughter is blessed, and she is a cause of joy and comfort for her family." In Islam, the position of a mother is elevated to such an extent that the Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, said, "Paradise lies beneath the feet of mothers." This means that a woman's role as a mother is the highest status she can achieve, more important than anything else. She is a source of blessings for the entire family. Let's talk about some of the pioneering women in Islamic history. One of the most remarkable women in Islam was Khadijah, R.A., the first wife of the Prophet Muhammad, PBUH. She was not just a wife. She was a successful businesswoman, an influential leader, and the Prophet's first supporter. Khadijah, R.A., was a symbol of strength, independence, and wisdom. She played a crucial role in the early days of Islam, even at a time when women had very little power in society. Another prominent figure was Aisha, R.A., one of the most learned women in Islam. She taught many of the companions of the Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, and contributed extensively to the understanding of Islamic law and hadith. Aisha, R.A., was a scholar, a political leader, and an intellectual force in the early Muslim community. These women were not just passive figures in history, they were active, engaged, and contributing to the social, political, and intellectual development of Islam. Some people misunderstand the concept of modesty in Islam, especially the wearing of the hijab. They believe it's a sign of oppression, but in reality, it is a symbol of strength, choice, and freedom. When a woman chooses to wear the hijab, she is asserting her right to be valued for her character and intellect, rather than her physical appearance. She is saying, I am more than my looks, I am a person of substance. The Prophet Muhammad PBUH emphasized this, saying, a woman's beauty lies in her modesty, not in her appearance. The hijab is an empowering choice. It's a woman's right to control her own body and how she is seen by the world. It allows her to stand out for her abilities and contributions, not just for her appearance. Some people argue that Islam treats men and women unequally, but if we look closely at the teachings of the Qur'an and Hadith, we see that men and women are equal in the eyes of Allah, even though they have different roles. Islam acknowledges the natural differences between men and women, but it ensures that both are treated with respect, dignity, and fairness. The Quran says, indeed, the Muslim men and Muslim women, the believing men and believing women, the obedient men and obedient women, the truthful men and truthful women, the patient men and patient women. Quran 33:35. This verse shows that men and women are equal in terms of their worship, virtues, and the rewards they earn from Allah. It's important to remember that Islamic empowerment doesn't stop at history. Today, we see many women in the Muslim world who are breaking barriers in education, science, politics, and business. Women like Malala Yousafzai and Dr. Bathana Shaban, a prominent Syrian scholar and politician, are incredible examples of women in the modern world who embody the true empowerment that Islam grants. The true empowerment of women in Islam is something that is often misunderstood or ignored. But when you dive into the teachings of Islam and the examples set by women throughout history, you see that Islam provides a comprehensive, fair, and just framework for empowering women in every aspect of life. So, if you want to learn more about the empowering role of women in Islam, don't forget to stay with us till the end of this video. You'll be amazed at how Islam has truly uplifted women in every way. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time. Click that subscribe button right now and join us on this incredible journey to uncover the beauty of Islam and the wisdom it offers.